Over 15 million people run in the United States. Over 4 million in some form of competition yearly. Yet, what do we know of running? How much better can we be through learning a running method? There has not been a substantial breakthrough in teaching a method of running until now. Up to now, the method employed in the training of running has been simply to run more and more to develop endurance and speed. You are about to receive the specific method which, with practice, will transform you as a runner. Like most sports, such as swimming, baseball, and tennis, or a skill such as ballet or karate require practice of technique, so does running. Basic steps and movements must be mastered before progressing to more advanced levels. Over the past 20 years, Russian track and field coach Dr. Nicholas Romanov has developed the pose method of running, which combines the mechanical model of a wheel and the biological model of animals. Together, these movements create a running form that will dramatically decrease your time, increase your endurance, and reduce the risk of injury. The key element in any sport is balance. And Dr. Romanov's pose method is specifically designed to provide you with the balance necessary for proper and natural running. The purpose of this video is to improve your running ability by presenting you with this completely new technique, which has been adopted by the USA Triathlon, the national governing body for the sport of triathlon, as the official running technique to be taught in its Olympic development program.
Nicholas has developed a technique referred to as the pose method, based on the idea that there's one basic pose that we use in running, and we change that pose from stance to stance, simplifying the technique in a way that makes it very easy for athletes to learn to make their running more economical, more efficient. This pose method is something that's been tremendously valuable to me personally, tremendously valuable to our team, and it's definitely, in my mind, the clearest, simplest way to teach an athlete to run efficiently.
Now let's talk basic theory.
For better understanding of running technique, we should discuss how well we change support, as your running technique is only as good as your change of support. For understanding these regularities, we use two basic models, a mechanical model, the movement of a wheel, and the biological model, the running of animals. In the first model, I would like to stress two main points: the transition of the center of gravity along a horizontal line without any vertical fluctuations, and the relation of the center of mass to support. Both these relations are constant. That is, during its movement, the center of gravity of the wheel does not change its position along the vertical line and in relation to support. In the second model, we can distinguish the S-like structure of animals' rear legs. That is, they are always bent and never straighten out. And also of interest is the fact that their legs don't have heels. That is, animals are always running on the front part of their feet. Now we can combine all this in the movement of man and integrate everything into one pose, in which we have the center of gravity over the support, the heel does not touch the ground, and the legs are always bent at the knee joints. We call this the running pose. Why? Because a pose is an integrating element of any movement, and teaching movement in different arts, such as ballet and karate, is done through teaching different poses. Thus, we have only one important pose in running, the running pose. The common notion in running is simply to reach out with one foot, then the other over and over again. Every time you reach out, you are throwing your body off balance, basically stopping yourself and putting unnatural stress that eventually leads to injury and results in a compromised performance. The pose method is divided into three parts, so you may first master the basic philosophy of movement and its application to running, proceed to intermediate drills, and finally move on to more advanced exercises for speed, balance, strength, and reflexiveness. What does it mean to run? On the surface, it appears like transferring the body through space along a horizontal line. Biochemically, it is horizontal jumps from one leg to the other with vertical effort. Running is transferring the body's general center of mass from one support to the other. This is what we call change of support. A runner is only as good as his change of support. The pose method's main goal is to develop the proper way to change support. What are the rules to follow in order to change support? Support is the ground contact of the body's general center of mass. The general center of mass, or the GCM as we will refer to it from now on, should remain directly above the support.
Popular wisdom is that running and landing on the heel will actually reduce injuries. My personal experience has been to the contrary, and this running model has helped us create a model that we think will produce a more injury-resistant athlete. A more injury-resistant athlete is able to then train more effectively, train in higher volumes, and that's of benefit to us. A second element of the model that is extremely important is the athlete is able to have a more relaxed stride, because they're not attempting to force an increase in stride length by pushing very hard, by lifting the knees high. They're able to achieve a level of relaxation that I, as a coach, know is one of the most critical elements of elite performance. Once an athlete achieves a higher level of relaxation, the amount of work necessary to go at a given speed is reduced. We see that in all the things we measure, heart rate, lactate, etc. And this model, in simplifying running and in being very succinct,
enables an athlete to come to that point much quicker than is typically the case. Typically that relaxation comes only through a lot of years of running, and this is a way to get there much sooner.
Most important is realizing that for running, using external energy or gravity to your advantage is more important than using your internal energy. Let's take a look at the external energy forces. Gravity. Ground reaction force. Muscle elasticity. Coriolis effect. Inertia. In research conducted by scientists on the proper use of the body's energy, the conclusion has been that by using muscle elasticity in any sport, the athlete saves up to 50% of the metabolic energy. The pose method is designed to give you maximum use of your metabolic energy by using this muscle reaction to benefit running. These 18 rules are necessary for proper running technique. Be sure to use them at all times. We challenged Dr. Romanoff to hold a class for some first-time students and see what the results would be in a short 2 hours lesson. Let's take a look at the way they ran before the lesson. As you'll notice, everyone extends their legs to the straight position, and their heels consistently strike the ground before the ball of the foot. Look closely at the heels. Dr. Romanoff took the novice runners through some theory and through some of the exercises that we will show you later in the video. Although the exercises require much more than 2 hours to learn properly, their awareness of the theory and the experience of the exercises took them to a much higher level of running, as you will see. Good technique is about minimizing the effort, always keeping the knees bent, relaxing the thighs, landing on the balls of your feet, and never extending the leg beyond the general center of mass. Your range of motion should never exceed the corridor in which your general center of mass is traveling. Proper balance and change of support are fundamental to keeping the range of motion within the effective boundaries. If you look closely at the feet, you will notice that with few exceptions, most of them have already attained the ability to run on the balls of their feet, and their legs do not extend beyond the general center of mass. A good simple analogy of excessive range of motion is this. When too much gas is given to a car, the wheels spin unnecessarily as the car's general center of mass has not attained enough forward motion to equal the wheel's movement. This is the same with a runner. A runner's legs have no useful purpose when they extend or move faster than the general center of mass's forward motion. In a short 2 hours, Dr. Romanoff radically improved the running ability of the first-time students. We felt these runners to be the ones that understood and adapted their running to the technique best. Let's begin with section 1. First is the post stance drill. This is the stance from which all movement is generated. This stance can be used to generate power in any sport. The use of a mirror is suggested to check posture. This is a good exercise to practice balance. The 3 key points of the body in the vertical position are shoulders, hips, and ankles. You must always be aware of this line. The point of contact with the ground is at the midfoot. This is your support point. Your weight should be over the midfoot with a finger width of space under the heel. The hip area is the next point in the vertical line. We will refer to this as the general center of mass. This area must always be kept directly above the support. The top point of the line is the shoulder. In running, our energy must be concentrated in the legs, not the upper body. The shoulder's function is to keep the balance of the vertical line on your support. From this stance, we create the running pose. This exercise is called changing support. Shift your general center of mass from one leg to the other. You must only pull up the ankle vertically under the hip. Use only your hamstring and not your quads. Allow the leg to drop by itself. Once you've attained control of this exercise, do it quickly without sacrificing balance. Always keep the knees bent. In this exercise, change support with minimum effort and minimum range of motion. Keep the upper body relaxed, quads relaxed, and use only your hamstring. Shift your weight from one leg to the other. Keep in mind your support point. You should only use the ball of your foot for support. The leg in the up position should only slightly touch the ground for balance. Check yourself in the mirror for posture and repeat as necessary till you've attained control. In this exercise, keep balance and support on one leg. Pull up the leg quickly. Use the ground reaction force and muscle elasticity to pull up the leg. Minimize efforts. Remember to keep your GCM supported on the ball of your foot. Your motion should be only as quick as your proper balance permits. Using the change of support exercise as the basis, allow forward movement to begin. Keep in mind the pose stance at all times. The ankles should remain directly underneath the center of mass. Your quads should be relaxed. Use only your hamstring. Land only on the balls of your feet by keeping a small distance between your heels and the ground. Always keep the knees bent. In this exercise, keep the knees bent. This is a more conscious moving effort in regards to the forward change of support. The legs should move forward after the general center of mass and not before. Use short movements only. Move only how it is necessary for changing support. Keep the upper body relaxed and the arms loose. Use them minimally for balance only. Remember to use the hamstring muscles only and not your quads. In the forward hop, keep the balance on one leg. Keep the other leg relaxed. Let gravity pull down your leg. Allow muscle elasticity and ground reaction force to work. Allow your leg to move with minimum effort. Muscle elasticity, or the recoiling effect you feel after your foot has touched the ground, should be doing most of the work. Both feet should land on the same place. In this exercise, keep your weight on the front leg only. Pick up the ankle vertically under the hip. Keep contact with the ground as short as possible. Allow the rear leg to follow loosely. Use it only for minimum support. Keep your quads relaxed and use only your hamstring to pull up your ankles. Remember to land on the ball of your foot. In this exercise, both ankles are being picked up. Transfer your weight from one leg to the other. Keep contact with the ground to a minimum, only as it is necessary to change support. Remember to keep your heels off the ground and land on the balls of your feet. The switch is an exercise for coordination. Allow the balance to switch from one leg to the other. Keep in mind the running pose and alternate it from side to side. In this exercise, as well as all the others, first practice precision, then practice for precision and speed. The running lunge is an exercise to begin minimizing the time between change of support. Allow the back leg to relax, only to follow the movement. This is the way to teach the working leg to react as quickly as possible. Although this may not seem easy at first, it is one of the most helpful exercises with which to achieve the pose method of running. Using ground reaction force and muscle elasticity to pull the ankles up quickly and vertically, allow the center of mass to move forward naturally. Do not change support. Retain support on the one leg. Do this as quickly as you can without sacrificing balance. Remember to land on the ball of your foot and use your hamstring to pull up the ankle. This exercise is performed keeping muscle elasticity and ground reaction force in mind while changing support. Alternate the legs. Use minimum hamstring activity and maximum ground reaction. The resilience of the muscle will pull up the leg naturally, as muscles naturally contract after expanding. The priority here is focused on pulling up the leg. We do this for minimizing the change of support. This exercise is pivotal in learning and using muscle resilience. Let's review section 1. The pose stance. This is for balance. Changing support. This is for changing your stance. The pony. For minimizing effort. Hop in place. Minimal effort pulling up. Forward change of support. Movement in change of support. The forward pony. For minimal effort. The forward hop. Minimal pull up. the forward lunge for one leg quickness. Double forward lunge for balance from one leg to the other and agility. The switch for agility and movement. The running lunge for emphasis on one leg quickness. Single skip forward for resilience on one leg. Double skip forward for double leg resilience. Let's continue with section 2. In this exercise, and as in all of the exercises, keep your knees bent and the ankles stable. Your quads should work minimally to stop you. Maintaining the S position will keep this movement fluid. This is your entire body recoiling after the ground reaction force takes place. Land on the balls of your feet. Be aware of keeping the ground contact to a minimum. Stay off your heels. Using the base jump as the basis, add the touching of your heels to this exercise. This exercise is for the purpose of coordination and quickness. Allow your hamstrings to work. Use your quads to help with resilience. Keep your heels off the ground. Keep the upper body relaxed and the arms loose. Always work on maintaining the S position in effect. With this exercise, the emphasis lies on shifting the weight of the GCM from one side to the other. In running, this action takes place in a more confined manner. This is switching your support in a maximum situation. When running, be aware of this to keep this movement under control and as little as possible. Stay on the balls of your feet and keep your heels off the ground. Agility and resilience are strengthened doing this exercise. Hip twisting also takes place while running. Keep in mind while running to twist the hips fluidly and minimally. In the shuffle, the balance takes place under the hips. This allows us to develop the feeling of balance. Keep the legs directly beneath the GCM and shuffle back only. Create a feeling of change of support with this exercise. Do not allow for stopping motion, only looseness. Keep the body relaxed. This exercise is designed to train the runner not to land on the toes. You should feel your shins working to keep the toes up. Maintain the S position and the body relaxed. Once mastered, you will feel a springiness of the feet while doing this exercise. The hand to foot should be done when loosening up feels necessary. Relaxation and simple coordination are the key elements. Keep your legs loose. Stay off your heels. Resilience and coordination together are the basis for the forward heel touch. Land on the balls of your feet and keep ground contact to a minimum. Keep the upper body relaxed. The purpose of the forward shuffle is to allow the balls of the feet to touch the ground in a resilient motion and not in a breaking or stopping motion. The GCM moves forward while the legs naturally advance. With the forward hip twist, we practice control of the side-to-side boundaries we should maintain while running. With this exercise, the runner builds the shin muscles more aggressively. Concentrate on building a springiness feeling and not a stopping feeling. Keep the upper body relaxed and maintain the S position at all times. This exercise should be done while warming up for running or when loosening up feels necessary. Relaxation and simple coordination are the key elements. Keep your legs loose. Stay off your heels. The free fall movement of this exercise is fundamental to running. Allow yourself to feel the GCM moving and your legs following in support. The forward one-leg hop should be done in alternating sequences to strengthen the landing on the ball of the foot. Use the free leg as little as possible to develop balance. Let's review section 2. The base jump for body resilience. The heel touch for coordination. The side shuffle for change of support. The hip twist for agility and resilience. The shuffle for proper balance. Toes up for proper landing and shin development. The hand to foot for relaxation and coordination. The forward heel touch for resilience and coordination. The forward shuffle for shifting of the body weight. The forward hip twist for agility. Forward toes up for shin muscles and landing properly. Forward hand to foot for coordination and relaxation. The forward two-leg hop for free fall movement. The forward one-leg hop for balance. Let's proceed with section 3. The front bench jump. In this exercise, The focus is concentrated on strength, resilience, and balance. The calf and hamstring muscles are directly used. There is generally more weight on the legs than during running. This will greatly affect your endurance. Do this with one leg, then alternate. Pick up your leg as quickly as possible and allow it to drop back down using gravity to your advantage. With the back bench jump, the focus continues on strength, resilience, and balance. This exercise is closer to the running pose. Alternate the legs. This will greatly enhance your endurance. Pick up your leg as quickly as possible. Allow gravity to help bring down the leg. Remember to land on the ball of your foot and stay off the heel. In this exercise, we work on giving the hamstring muscle a larger workload than normal. The bands make it very hard to return to the running pose. The emphasis is on balance. Work towards achieving constant balance. Land on the balls of your feet and keep ground contact down to a minimum. Stay off the heels. This exercise is designed to give a higher difficulty level to retaining the pose. Emphasize pulling the ankle up with the hamstring. This is a perfect exercise for neuromuscular coordination. The hamstring should work and the quads should relax. Although the leg will go back because of the bands, concentrate on pulling the ankle up directly below the hip. Use muscle resilience to keep your movement constant. Alternate from one leg to the other as often as necessary, but not before achieving balance. This exercise is designed to create a higher resistance level to changing support. It requires precise change of support for balance. Use muscle resilience to keep the movement flowing. Land on the balls of your feet. Stay off the heels. Pull the ankle up directly below the hip. As we advance, the difficulty level becomes greater. Balance is difficult to maintain in this exercise, but with practice, you will achieve the strength and balance necessary. Keep the leg directly below the hip, knees bent, and heels off the ground. This exercise has the highest difficulty level. It is designed to develop balance and strength in the forming of the running pose. Land on the balls of your feet, keep ground contact to a minimum, and move as quickly as possible without losing balance. Keep the upper body relaxed. Keep the arms loose. And keep the pose constant. This exercise is designed to accustom your ankles to go up freely. Because of the self-support, it makes it almost impossible to extend the legs beyond the GCM, and it accustoms the legs to land precisely beneath the general center of mass. By now, you should be acquainted with most of the exercises. We suggest any of the exercises you feel most natural with as the ones to use in the exercise and run section. Always remember to keep your upper body relaxed. Use the arms only for balance and stay on the balls of your feet. Always use your hamstring muscles to pull up the ankle directly below the hip. Keep the quads relaxed. Keep your heels off the ground. Remember to check the 18 rules of running in the front section of the video from time to time. As you practice these exercises, your awareness of the pose method of running will become a natural reflex, but the exercises should always be performed on an ongoing basis. The more you exercise, the better you will run. Some of Dr. Romanov's students are already enjoying the benefits of the pose method, not only with their improved time, but with injury-free running. Douglas Eisenberg has attained a 40-minute improvement in the 42K marathon. Kyle Sage with an 11-minute improvement in the 21K and now injury-free. Sarka Andrews with a 20-minute improvement in the 21K. Connie Soul and Brian Tingler with an over 5-minute improvement in the 10K. Barry Ho with a 3-minute improvement in the 5K, and Jim Beauchamp with a 1-minute improvement in the 5K. The list goes on with professional and non-professional runners.
Thank you. And you have to remember that success in pose method of running will come to you through this exercise. Thank you again. Goodbye, and God bless you.